New cards, Pog Champ. New cards, Pog Champ. I don't care what Farfa says. Give us Rush Duel. Look at this, man. Caius structure deck. Look how good he fucking looks. Oh, man. I want this card so bad. I want to play it in Rush Duel. The Monarchs seem really cool in Rush Duel. Fuck, they're all legends. We're never getting this shit. They have, like, weird fucked up monarchs that aren't legends. I don't know. I like this stuff so much, and we're just never going to get it. What does the legend tag mean? You can only have one card per super type with the legend tag in your deck. So you can have one legend monster, one legend spell, and one legend trap. And this would be your legend monster. Oh, man. All right. Okay, moving on. New Yusei cards, Pog Champ. New Yusei cards, Pog Champ. Scrap Synchron. I have to imagine it works with scrap monsters. Now to take a big sip of water. For a Synchro summon, you can substitute this card for any one Synchron tuner. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If you Synchro summon a monster that mentions a Synchron tuner as material, this card in your hand can be used as material. Okay, we're giving them a code radiator. What are we calling this? A microcoder effect? If a monster you control that mentions Junk Warrior and or is a Synchro monster with Warrior in its original name would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your field to graveyard instead. And Scrap Warrior. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can add to your hand or send to the graveyard a Junk Synchron or a card that mentions Junk Warrior from your deck. Crazy pool for this. The activated effects of monsters you control that mention Junk Warrior and are Synchro monsters with Warrior in their original names can't be negated except Scrap Warrior. This is a really, really, really powerful option to prevent your opponent from negating the on-summon effect of your Junk Speeder. Unfortunately, this effect does not apply to Junk Speeder. That's very weird. Mention Junk Warrior has Warrior in their name, so specifically boxes out the one card it needs to insulate. Honestly, I think it's very funny. If nothing else, it is very funny. I don't know. These are fine cards, but they're more pieces in the big bowl of Synchro slop that I don't think move the levers on its playability at all. And Scrap Synchron is kind of a crappy card. Like, am I crazy? This seems kind of bad. I guess you can, like, summon it off Speeder as your one in order to, like, get to a powerful thematic Synchron monster that uses, like, a shit tuner like Nitro you would never want to play. And I do like that you don't have to summon it. It can be used from anywhere, but I would never want to make this over Jet Synchron, right? I don't know. Ay, ay, ay. All right, next up. New card, Pog Champ for TCG. I think this is a TCG World Premiere, Queen of the Blazing Domain. Now, I know what you're thinking. What cool stuff is a TCG World Premiere going to do? It's a fucking floodgate. Can't be destroyed by card effects. If this card is in your hand, you can target up to 2 cards you control, including a face-up spell trap, destroy them, and if you do, special summon this card. If you destroyed 1 card, return it to the hand during the end phase of the next turn, or if you destroyed 2, this card gains this effect instead, Macrocosmos. Just Dark Law. So there are some ways to get to this card. Chat has figured out this is a Dark Pyro, so it's sort of like the legacy piece of Ashen support that solves the archetype, but it also doesn't really do anything you want in Ashen. Like, oh my god, you can pop your Obsidian with this card? That's nuts. And 1 additional monster, and it macros, which is... Peeps was saying it's a Vanquished Soul Canine card. What are you popping? Start... and a monster to, like, macro them, and you have to case. Okay, case is good. Case is a good card to pop. You have to draw this. You only need to pop 1? Yeah, but if you only pop 1, it sucks balls, right? I guess, like, it is Chaotic Elements, and theoretically you can search it. You know what? While this card reads like bad on face, I would not be surprised to see some people tinker with it. And when it comes to Peeps, he's one of our best tinkerers. So you know what? Despite the fact that everyone's been kind of like, this card's pretty mid, I am going to say I have high hopes for 11. I think this card might be part of a deck that's actually good. Unfortunately, if it is part of a deck that's actually good, I'm going to fucking hate it because it's Macrocosmos, but we'll see. It's level 9 too. Generator. All right, next up. Man, I just don't know what to think about these cards. Welcome Childhood's End with Enacraft. What the fuck is that? Screaming geometrically. Okay, I'm going to say some shit about this specific angel that I think people might take issue with. I kind of liked when it wasn't doing this shit. Like, it does all this shit in the rebuilds, but in the base show, it's just a triangle, right? And I kind of really like that. I like that it's just like an immovable triangle. I like that it doesn't like try and do some sort of inscrutable geometric thing that like makes it really scary. I like that it's just like a tank. I don't know. All right, so here we go. No utopia can ever give satisfaction to everyone all the time. As their material conditions improve, men raise their sights and become disconnected. What the fuck? What the hell is this from? Oh, Childhood's End. I've never read this card. I've never read this book. Let's see what the people at Goodreads thought about Childhood's End. They're quoting this line. The United States and the Soviet Union were in the midst of a military space race when aliens... God, I hate that people talk like this. You think you're so fucking smart, don't you, Mark? Ha, think again. All your little plans and goals, your little community of friends and colleagues, your whole little life. What does it matter in the long run? Not a whole fucking lot. Grow up. Take this book, for example, a classic of the genre, written by a classic author. You thought you knew what you were getting into. You've read countless examples of the type. You sure are a well-read little sci-fi nerd, aren't you? For the first half, maybe longer, you were right. A well-crafted central character, flavorful supporting characters, intriguing aliens, a spicy mystery to solve. It was all laid out as expected, and the pleasures were of a familiar sort. When the mystery of the alien's appearance was solved, you were a wee bit surprised, but it was a comfortable sort of surprise. It's not like it blew your mind. It was clever, but everything up until then was as you expected. Well, fucking congratulations, chump. Your predictions came half true. You want a medal? You don't get one. There aren't any half medals. You weren't expecting what came after. Oh my God. 2012. I mean, people just talked like this in 2012. We've gone on a little bit of a tangent. Let's get back to the cards. Okay, first up is Enacraft Alpha, Oria. You can only use a second pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. Each time a monster is flipped face up, put a Synquisition counter on this card. Stupid. You can pay 900, reveal 3 Enacraft cards from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks 1 for you to add to your hand. You shuffle the rest back into the deck. Okay. I'm going to refer to this as the Scout effect. We'll call this the Scout effect, because you're gonna see this a lot. Monster effect, you can reveal this card in your hand, special summon a monster from your hand in face-down defense position. You cannot special summon the turn you activate this effect, except in face-down defense position. When your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand, you can change the set card to face-up defense position, add an Enacraft from your deck to your hand. If this card is flipped face-up, destroy a monster your opponent controls. Okay? Enacraft Beta, Alazonia. It's got the Scout effect. You can reveal this card in your hand, special summon a monster from your hand in face-down defense position. You can't special summon the turn you activate this effect, except in face-down defense position. When your opponent activates a card effect that includes adding a card from the deck to the hand, you can change your set card to face-up defense position, add an Enacraft from your deck to your hand. If flipped face-up, banish a random card from your opponent's hand face-up until the end phase. Enacraft, fucker. Tromaria. It's got the Scout effect. You can reveal this card in your hand, special summon a monster from your hand in face-down defense position. When your opponent activates a card effect that includes special summoning a monster, you can change this set card to face-up defense position, add an Enacraft from your deck to your hand. If this card is flipped face-up, negate the effect of one effect monster your opponent controls until the end of the turn. Enacraft, what is this, Omega? Oknurlia. Got the Scout effect. It's got the first 2 effects from all the other ones, and if flipped face-up, shuffle up to 3 cards from your opponent's graveyard or banishment into the deck. Okay. The first one here is Isa Beta Leon. So these ones have a different effect. Each time a monster is flipped face up, put a Synquisition counter on this card. At the end of the battle phase, if you have an Enacraft card in your other pend zone, you can target a monster your opponent controls with a lower attack than this card. Lower attack than this pendulum card in the spell zone. Weird. Destroy it. Monster effect, you can reveal this card in your hand, special summon a monster, When your opponent activates a card effect in response to the activation of your card effect, change this set card to face-up defense position, return up to 3 cards on the field to the hand, and each time a card is added to your opponent's hand by their card effect while you control this monster flipped face-up, inflict 900 damage for each of them. Enacraft Aste, it's got the evenly matched effect. It's got the first effect from everybody. When your opponent activates a card effect that targets a card you control, you can change this set card to face-up defense position, negate the effect, and banish a card from your opponent's hand face down. Your opponent cannot target cards on the field or graveyards with card effects while you control this monster flipped face-up. Enacraft Oria F. Mar, it's got the evenly matched effect. Same effect as previous. And then when your opponent activates a card or effect on the field during your turn, change the set card to face-up defense position, negate the activation if you do destroy that card. Change all monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position. Their battle positions cannot be changed. We've got Tail. It's got the evenly matched effect, the same first effect. When your opponent activates a card effect that would destroy a card on the field, change the set card to face-up defense position. Monsters and Enacraft spells you control can't be destroyed by card effects for the rest of the turn. And each time a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard while you control this monster flipped face-up, inflict 900 damage to them. Annapolis, the Synquisition City. You can target any number of Enacraft Pendulum monster cards you control, return them to the hand. If an Enacraft Pendulum monster is flipped face up during the main phase, you can return to the hand or place in your Pendulum Zone one of them. And then once per turn during the end phase, remove all Synquisition counters on cards you control and inflict 900 damage to your opponent for each. Enacraft Release, put an Enacraft Pendulum monster from your deck into your Pendulum Zone. If it's in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it to add an Enacraft from your extra deck to your hand. Okay, so these cards are almost impossible to get a handle on because they play in a way that Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks just don't. You are going to load up on all of the powerful cards in the deck. You're going to use the Scout effects to set scales and fill your hand, and then you are going to set 5 cards. Like, you are going to use 5 effects to special summon cards from your hand, and you are going to special summon 5 cards, right? It's also kind of irritating. The Scout effect ones can flip up in response to specific actions your opponent takes, but they can't resolve in such a way that interacts with what your opponent's doing because, like Fenrir, they'll go on a new chain. The evenly matched ones respond directly, and F-Mar is shocking. It's just a negate, and it books the entire board. Like, I can't believe this card works the way that it does. It's crazy. It's also important to understand that none of these special summon from hand effects are once per turns, so it's not like your opponent is going to know which ones you have, right? Like, you can just reveal the same one over and over again, put random shit on the field, and then end with the one that they know, right? Am I correct? Yeah. So that makes it really difficult to play around because it's not like some of them are good and some of them are bad. They all seem pretty playable. And the other thing is they all seem pretty hard to get over. The Scout ones that sit in your Pendulum Zone for the most part all have 100, 1,000. But the evenly matched ones are all 3,025. And like, if you just have 5 monsters with 2,500 defense, it sounds crazy, but that is kind of difficult to get over. Especially with this card, Tail, which is just like, yeah, so your opponent can't destroy cards on the field. Like, I don't know, Zelantis summon everyone back and attack? Like, what are you doing? But again, these cards cannot access the bevy of cards that have been printed for generic archetypes in the last couple of years. They cannot take advantage of the really powerful cards available for flip monsters specifically, or pendulum monsters specifically as a result. And so it is really hard to sell people on an archetype that's like, yeah, your best hand is going to be 5 Enacraft cards that you set on the field. Like, going second, you are going to hope that your opponent can't beat you setting 5 Enacraft cards on the field, which is, you know, it's possible. This card, the Synquisition City, is kind of fun. It's like Cauldron of the Old Man in that it's a win con on its own, but it also enables you to do everything every turn, which is cool. Again, it is almost impossible to get a handle on if this deck will be good or not. At present, I am leaning towards the fact that I do not think it will be good, but I would not be surprised if the weirdness of this deck in particular makes it so difficult to get a handle on that it is actually crazy strong, and I just don't know it. Like, I imagine there's a pretty, like, if you go second, your opponent, you have like a negate. You can negate and destroy your opponent's effect to special summon, then they're down a card. Then they try to do the thing where they set their whole board. If you have pops, you can activate the pops in order to make it happen. Not all of these cards perform a negation function. Like, a Tori F protects you because it's a negate on your turn. Archon Tail protects you because it pops destruction. But, like, if what you draw is the searchers, like the IAs, the 100, 1000 ones, that is pretty easy to deal with, actually. Like Monarch, you kind of have to draw like the right combination of them, unless you're going first when you can use the IAs to just translate into the evenly matched guys. I don't know. It's really, really difficult to get a handle on. Totally real Enacraft FTK combo using Gap. Dude, I love Gap. The Divine Soldier? Let's see. Because Gap flips them up. Yeah, I get it. Okay, I understand. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, okay. So to do this, all you have to do is normal summon Gap. I mean, that's... doesn't sound that crazy. I don't know. I'll be playing the hell out of this deck, regardless of how good it is, for sure. I just, hard to get a handle on if it's good or not. I think that, let me see if I can find it. Lithium has, a profile on it already. Yeah.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. So, a new archetype.
He's in Bastard Duel.
The high level, this one, that bounces whenever your opponent, what does it, change to your monster's archetype effects? You can again.
Like, this is what your turn one is going to look like almost every time, right? It's just like...
Synchro summons, link summons, even pendulum summons. That's funny.
Go.
You're playing a pendulum deck that hardly pendulum summons. So, okay, gimmick number one. Second is that all of them, they find different effects. Whenever, let's say this one, your opponent, activates a card effect that adds something to the deck, it flips itself face up, and then, it searches one of the archetype cards, and then it will gain a beneficial effect. I think this one banishes one random card from your opponent's hand until the end phase. There's more like, what is it, Book of Moon stuff from your opponent, while searching every time. This is a fantastic card. Like, what is it? Mar, I can't those names. High level one. Whenever that one is face down on the field, as soon as your opponent activates a card effect on the field, you can flip it face up, negate and destroy the cards, and I'm currently running Raw Sphere mode because you're not using your normal summon. Then again, there is wind spirits.
Here's a rough one. It actually is quite difficult to beat Detonator in this deck.
Could be your normal summon. But again, like very similar to Runic. Pure Runic, I guess you're not really using your normal summon. So I think Sphere mode could be there. There's something like Young, for example.
He's like, why don't you just play Sphere mode? Fuck it.
Per turn, so if your opponent is like Herald, you can reveal like the only negation, for example, set it, and then bam, Raw Sphere mode to your opponent.
Well, this is gonna be Sphere mode, so
almost never results. Always Ash or whatever, not results. Okay, so we can drop. Oh, we reveal Mar, but we're setting the one that flips phase over whenever your opponent activates a banished card.
They still get Detonator here.
So that's a bummer. That's a huge bummer. The Imperm definitely hurts. So now
Imperm's crazy.
Yeah, what is it? Full power Detonator craps on this deck. Obviously, like whenever you're activating your pendulums in your pendulum scale, Detonator will just pop. Okay, you lose a monster on field.
Why didn't we reattach to the Detonator?
But they have once per turn. Danger like. So we drop the Omni on field. So now the Detonator with one material is now negated. I mean, we can negate it with Mar. So it destroys and Mar, and eventually
leading Mar is like kind of crazy. I don't know. It's interesting. All right, next up, Dogmatica Chaplain. We have this card now. If a monster special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. If special summoned from the hand, you can make each player send one monster from their extra deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a Dogmatica card in your graveyard, except Chaplain, add it to your hand. Cool card. Really cool card. I wish that first effect was a quick. Yeah, I really wish the first effect was a quick. Would be a really awesome hand trap. It is doomed to unplayability by the fact that it's just, it's extension on your turn. If Invoke Dogmatica Shadow was still a thing, this card would be nutty. Yeah, it's better Maximus, I don't know. All right, next up. Killer Tune. All right, so here we go. This is an interesting series of cards. These are the other deck build pack archetype, and it's a bunch of tuners and no non-tuners. All right, so Killer Tune Mix, level 2 Wind Warrior tuner effect monster. If this card on the field would be used as synchro material, you can use a tuner in your hand as one of the other materials. If normal or special, you can add a Killer Tune from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except a level 2. And if set to the graveyard as synchro material, target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Killer Tune Clip, if this card would be hand effect. During your opponent's main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 tuner. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can banish a random face-down card from your opponent's extra deck. Killer Tune Rico, if this card on the field would be used as a synchro material, 1 tuner in your hand can be used. If normal or special, you can add a Killer Tune from your deck to your hand except a level 3. And if this card is sent to your graveyard as synchro material, target a spell trap your opponent controls, destroy it. Killer Tune Track Maker. Fucking awesome, dude. Oh my god. When was the last time you saw... This guy could head the Department of Swag. A Killer Tune and 1+ tuners. So that's a tuner and a tuner, by the way. If this card on the field would be used as synchro material, you can use a tuner in your hand as one of the other materials. If special summoned, you can add a Killer Tune from your deck to your hand. If sent to the graveyard as synchro material, bounce a card your opponent controls. Killer Tune Remix. You have to use Killer Tune Mix with this one. Gains 1500 while your opponent has a tuner on their field or in their graveyard. During your opponent's turn, you contribute this card to take 2 non-synchro tuners from your graveyard, 1 to your hand, special the other, then synchro summon 1 tuner. Killer Tune Red Seal. This is Rico. 300 for each tuner in the graveyard. The levels of monsters your opponent controls with 1700 or less original attack are increased by 1. Funny. During the main phase, you can banish a tuner from your graveyard, then target a face-up card your opponent controls, negate. Killer Tune Loudness War. Other tuners you control can't be destroyed by card effects. Your opponent cannot target them with card effects. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can banish a Killer Tune from your graveyard. Apply its effect that activates if sent to the graveyard as synchro material. So that's going to be pop a spell trap, banish a random card face down, or destroy a monster an opponent controls. Killer Tune Synchro, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except this card resolves, except tuners, then add a Killer Tune from your deck to your hand, then you can synchro summon a tuner. Killer Tune, during your main phase, you can normal summon a tuner in addition to your normal summon set. Loudness War gains 3300 attack. You contribute a tuner, add to your hand or special summon a Killer Tune from your deck. Also, you are locked into tuners. And then Killer Tune Playlist, target a Killer Tune monster you control or in your graveyard. Apply its effect that activates if sent to the graveyard as synchro material or return it to the hand. These cards are really cool. They are fucking awesome. I mean, there's really nothing else I can say about them but that. I love their stupid little play style. I love that this card is like, okay, the end boss just like does an effect that is on the little guys' effects when they go to the graveyard as synchro material. I love that these cards are good going first, but better going second. They like clean up. I'm not thrilled by them. I think they are not great, and Enrico has the take that I think I am landing on, which is there just aren't enough main deck monsters. Like, they're cool as hell, and I think these effects are quite strong, but there's only 3 main deck monsters. So at the end of the day, you are pretty constrained not only by, you know, the names, but also it's hard to open a 9 of, right? I don't know. The missing card is another 3. If there is a missing card and it is a monster, I would not be surprised to see these be really good. But at present, there's only 3 of them. You go through them over the course of your combo, so it's really hard to, like, do it twice. I'm hoping that the last card will be a monster that kind of ties the whole thing together. Loudness War is such a funny card. Read Synchro Overtake. Synchro Overtake. This is the junk Synchron card, right? Reveal a Synchro monster. Choose a Synchro monster added to your hand or special summon that monster from your deck or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Synchro monsters. Yeah, I mean, this is a searcher. It's like a E-Telly for the archetype. Fusion deployment of white. Yeah, that's what I'd call it. Next up. Last Hecka-Hand card. Okay, when we looked at the Hecka-Hands, I was like, this deck is not very good. Then they released Hecka-Hands. The card is called Hecka-Hands. Add a Hecka-Hand from your deck to your hand. Then if you sent a card to the graveyard at activation, set a Hecka-Hand spell trap from your deck, except Hecka-Hands. Here it is. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Your opponent draws a card. Then they discard a card. Well, that totally changes the archetype, right? Am I crazy? The thing about the Hecka-Hands is, like, they needed your opponent to kind of go a little bit. Because, like, otherwise going first is like, eh. Now they have to go. And in the process of going, you get to +1. I don't know. I will say, yeah, chat's caught on to a couple of frustrating things. They do get control over what the discard is, which is kind of frustrating. So I still don't think this archetype is going to be very good, but it at least now is playable. I now do think, oh, this is an archetype someone could play rather than a cruel, sick joke by Konami. I'm discarding Sulliek. Okay, well, you know. And then finally, this is so important. New 7-Eleven promo cards. If you buy Haichu, you get Judge Man. Give us Rush Door, please.